boy wanted KFC. His deaf-mute grandmother looked confused, clearly not knowing what that was. So Tom pulled out a poster to show her. After much effort, his grandmother finally guessed it was a big rooster. The first time her grandson mentioned food he liked, his grandmother was determined to make it happen. But the family really had no money, so his grandmother sold the medicinal herbs she'd painstakingly gathered. On the way back, it started pouring rain. His grandmother got completely soaked, but she protected the rooster in her hands, carefully wrapping it in cloth. When she got home, the first thing his grandmother did wasn't change out of her wet clothes. Instead, she tucked in the sleeping Tom. Then she quickly changed and started cooking for her grandson. When Tom woke up, his grandmother warmly offered him a chicken leg. But Tom wasn't happy, because this clearly wasn't the fried chicken he wanted. His grandmother looked bewildered and kept trying to give him the chicken leg, but Tom still rejected it. Crying and knocking over his rice bowl, his grandmother sat in silence, slowly picking up the grains of rice that had fallen on the straw mat, placing them in her mouth one by one, yet the full pot of chicken on the table. His grandmother didn't touch a single bite. That night Tom woke up hungry. He wolfed down most of the chicken. The next day when Tom woke up, he found his grandmother still hadn't gotten up. Obviously she caught a cold from the rain yesterday. Tom felt helpless. He placed a damp towel on his grandmother's forehead, and quietly returned the hairpin he'd stolen earlier. After this incident, Tom seemed to realize his elderly grandmother was the one who needed care. So at lunch, Tom specially brought his grandmother some chicken soup. Fortunately, his grandmother recovered before long. After the rain cleared, his grandmother picked pumpkins and took Tom to the market to sell them. Unable to speak, his grandmother could only use gestures to attract customers. Embarrassed, Tom just watched from a distance. He hesitated for a long time but never came forward to help. Soon it was lunchtime. Since they couldn't find KFC, his grandmother took Tom to eat jajangmyeon, probably his first time eating this kind of food. Tom devoured it, while his grandmother just sat beside him, quietly drinking plain water to fill her stomach. That afternoon on the bus ride home, his grandmother gestured again asking Tom what he wanted to eat. Tom saw a wrapper on the ground and said he wanted chocolate cookies, so his grandmother picked up the wrapper from the ground and went to the nearby store to buy some. She gave the shopkeeper all her money, but he wouldn't take it. The two were old acquaintances, so before leaving, his grandmother gave him the remaining herbs she hadn't sold. He urged her over and over to come visit him more often. Both were getting old. Who knew how many more times they'd see each other? After saying goodbye to her old friend, his grandmother handed the chocolate cookies to her grandson, but Tom looked disgusted and wouldn't let her get on the bus. It turned out there were two kids from his village on the bus. Tom thought his grandmother was embarrassing, so he made her get off. As the bus was about to leave, his grandmother tried to hand him the package through the window, but Tom refused to take it. In the end, his grandmother could only helplessly watch the bus drive away. Tom soon arrived back at the village. He assumed his grandmother would take the next bus, but he waited through bus after bus and still didn't see her. Long after the last bus had passed, his grandmother's figure finally slowly appeared. Turns out she couldn't bear to spend the money and had walked back step by step. Tom felt deeply ashamed and took the package he'd once rejected. Grandmother and grandson slowly walked home together like that.